Hello, my name is Santiago Lu. I am currently studying a major in economics, and today I will be talking about a very known phenomenon that is inflation. Let's begin by defining what is inflation. Inflation is the general increase of prices in goods and services within an economy. It is important to note that it is general increase, so no, it is not for specific products, but for a specific basket of essential products within an economy. This means that each unit of currency, the coin that is used within the economy, buys fewer goods and services, or that the purchasing power of the money declines. It is important also to note that this is a natural phenomenon and it is part of the natural cycle of every economy. Inflation goes up and down, but it will always be present and it will always have an effect on our daily lives. But how much can inflation change? As you can see in this graph, it can vary quite a bit depending on the situation of the economy and the efficiency of its regulator, which we will talk about this point in a next slide. We can see in current years that inflation has been stable in Mexico uh, around a very similar level. We can see a slight increase in 2020 where the pandemic hit and well, inflation levels since then have been out of the ordinary. And who regulates or measures this phenomenon? For Mexico, it's our central bank, Banxico, or Banco de Mexico, which has the target or our mission to maintain the value of our currency, the Mexican peso. They have a target to maintain an inflation level of around 3% plus minus 1, so it can be up to 4% or at least 2%. This is because a very low inflation also has its negative effects as well as a very high inflation. We saw in the previous graph that inflation was stable around this target. However, after the pandemic, the level of inflation rose to a maximum of 8.7% and is currently sitting at 6%. We have not recuperated entirely from the situation. However, our central bank is currently working to regulate the inflation and return to its target. But how does this affect me as an individual? Well, as we previously mentioned, our money has less value. This means that our salary, our monthly income, has the power to purchase fewer things. We have a lower acquisitive power. And also our savings lose its value over time. It is easier to understand this with an example. In this case, we'll be seeing the beloved Mexican pastry gansito, which every Mexican can at least identify in every superstore. Not so long ago, 2019, 4 years, you could buy this at 11 pesos. Right now, if you go to a convenience store or a superstore, you can find it at 23 pesos. It is a considerable difference, which impacted a lot of Mexican citizens. As we mentioned previously, inflation is currently at a very high point and well beyond the target that our central bank has established. But what can be done to reduce it? Well, Mexico has an arsenal of economic and tax instruments that can help reduce inflation. The most used one is interest rates. This can be modified to best suit the economy to achieve a certain outcome that, in this case, the reduction of inflation. Other examples that can be used are the taxes, employment levels, money offer, and among other things. But also as individuals, what can we do? We can invest our savings, not just leave them in the bank, so that they generate more money at a rate that is above the inflation so that they don't lose their acquisitive value. This is a very helpful tool that every single person can use. Well, that will be all for this presentation. Hope you find this information useful.